Before we get into this rant, I feel like I have to address a bit of a disclaimer. I do understand that some areas don't observe daylight savings time. I get that. More on this at a later point in the video. Now, in with the rant. This has been bothering me since around mid-2013. I can't believe a lot of people do this. Hell, even time zone border signs have this problem, apparently. This is typically when people in the internet mention an event happening or a deadline expiring at a certain time, usually along with the time zone abbreviation after that. The thing that gets me is when they specifically put EST, CST, MST, or DST at a time of the year, when they are supposed to type EDT, CTT, MTT, or PTT respectively. I think it's time to really know the difference between the variants of the 4 time zone abbreviations. The S stands for standard, for example, EST stands for Eastern Standard Time, and the D stands for daylight, as in daylight savings time, for example, EDT stands for Eastern Daylight Time. Whenever we use the S in the 3-letter time zone abbreviation, it means that daylight savings time is not being observed, usually from early November, until about mid-March of the following year. Otherwise, we would use the letter D, as opposed to the letter S. So, try to keep that in mind when using 3-letter time zone abbreviations, or better yet, just use the 2-letter time zone abbreviations. By using 2-letter abbreviations, it would make things easier for you, and you'd be correct regardless of whether or not daylight savings time is not being observed. Size, I feel like we rely on technology so much that we forget that we've either sprung forward or fell back. If you've been following me on Twitter for a while now, you'd probably know that I only use 2-letter abbreviations for the time zone that I'm in, Eastern Time, and now you probably know why I do that. Pretty much the only time I'd use 3-letter abbreviations would be for mock EAS videos. As for those living in areas that don't observe daylight savings time, I would recommend mentioning the name of your location. For example, if you want to mention an event or deadline happening in Phoenix, Arizona, you'd mention Phoenix time, or in Phoenix, or something like that, that is, at 8 a.m. Phoenix time, or at 8 a.m. in Phoenix. I know that Phoenix, Arizona is technically in the Mountain Standard Time Zone all year long, but when DST is in effect for the areas that observe it, it's literally the same time as if it were in the Pacific Time Zone, so maybe use PT for your area during that time of the year. I don't know, it's flipping complicated. If you live in Hawaii, then you don't have to worry about using HST. Using HT sounds a little weird to me. Anyway, that's it for this video. I sure hope I don't have to post another rant anytime soon, before I get the rest of my old EAS videos to this channel as well as on the side channel.